Hello everyone and welcome back to 5 Tips in 5 Minutes. Today we're talking about dumping your separate diversity and inclusion plan and moving it into the main business plan. Lots of businesses have inclusion goals, but it's usually the HR departments who are held accountable for achieving them. It's true that many people policies are what drive greater diversity and inclusion, but the HR team are not the people in the business making decisions on the ground every day. HR can set the policies, but it's the business that implements them. So I'm recommending that businesses move away from having a separate diversity and inclusion strategy and plan and integrate it into business plans instead. And here's my 5 tips for how to do that. Tip 1. Set 2 or 3 business-wide inclusion goals. These could be about representation at every level of the business, employee perspective on the inclusiveness of the business, reducing pay gaps. And you might want to audit the business to decide what activities and what focus is going to have the greatest impact on moving the dial. Tip 2. Build inclusion goals directly into business plans. When creating strategy and business plans, require each department to be specific about what they will do to contribute towards achieving these goals, and put hard measures in place. Every single person needs to be able to say, here's what I've done personally to help make this business more diverse, more inclusive and more equitable. Tip 3 is to hold everyone in the business accountable. Give every single person in the business an objective that will contribute towards meeting your diversity, inclusion and equity goals. And these aren't vague objectives like demonstrate inclusive behaviours at every opportunity. They need to be specific actions. For example, a sales manager might ask every member of their team to educate themselves on a different aspect of inclusion and share what they've learned at their monthly team meeting. A product development manager might design a new process for product or service development to make sure that diverse voices and perspectives are included. Tip 4 is to offer expert support. Whilst most people agree that more diversity and inclusion in businesses is a no-brainer, it can be surprisingly difficult to translate this into practical actions and activities. So offer practical expert support from a diversity, inclusion, equity specialist to support the managers in identifying what they can do and how they can measure it to contribute towards the business's equity goals. Being more inclusive tends to be more about how we think and how we do things rather than being a concrete task. So expressing what you want people to do in measurable terms is difficult but necessary. Tip 5. Chief executives are ultimately responsible. Seeing inclusion as a people thing and delegating it to the HR function makes it just another business activity, and it is a heavy load for the HR team to bear. The weight of expectation can be immense. The businesses who have the most success with moving the dial on diversity, equity and inclusion are those that have involved, accountable chief executives who don't see anyone else as ultimately responsible for it than themselves. So to recap, set 2 or 3 key business inclusion goals. Make sure every function builds them into their plan. Hold everyone in the business accountable. Offer expert support to help people integrate it into their plan. And chief executives, you are ultimately responsible. That's it for this week. Thank you for watching and I'll see you next time.